Hello everyone, I am Arjun Majumdar, the CEO and founder of Himalayas. Some of you may have trekked Himalayas, and for those who haven't, let me give you a little background of India Hikes. India Hikes is India's leading trekking organization. India Hikes has been responsible for growing and bringing trekking to where it is today in our country. India Hikes has explored and documented some of the greatest treks of our country. Those treks have gone on to become household names. Treks like Kedarkanda, Kashmir Great Lakes, Rupkund, Rupin Pass, Puran Hati, and countless others. In this journey, we have not only documented treks, but we have also set the systems for trekking in our country. Systems like the environmental systems, the safety systems, or even the basic framework of trekking that is done in our country is largely the India Hikes model. Across the country, if you ever go around, most people will identify India Hikes as a very unique organization, an organization which has a lot of unique values and culture in it. Now the question in most people's mind is, how did India Hikes become what it has? What were the choices in front of us? What were the decisions that we took? And what influenced those decisions? Today I'm going to share some stories with you. These stories are not some stories which I've ever shared in a public forum before. I'm going to do it for the first time. And hopefully in these stories, you'll understand how we take some of the decisions. I'm going to take you back to 2011. 2011 when we were exploring the Kashmir Great Lakes trek. And when our team landed at this spot, and they saw these two lakes in front of them, they couldn't believe their eyes. They couldn't believe that such places would exist in a country. 2 hours later, when they actually trekked down to the shores of this lake, they thought they had arrived in paradise. But not everything was okay in paradise. As they were walking along the shores of these lakes, they discovered something which disturbed them a lot. They saw litter around these lakes. Litter that did not belong there. Litter like plastic wrappers, styrofoam plates, tin cans, alcohol bottles. None of them belonged there. And it just made them. It made them think, what is this litter doing here? And this was an exploration team, so they always go very light. But this team, in their conscience, they decided to do something about this. So whatever sacks they had within themselves, they started picking up this litter and leaving this place clean. They picked up 2 large sacks of litter. Now, for a team which is going very light, an exploration team, any sack is heavy, but these sacks which were very big, they got it down with them from the height of 12,000 feet to around 5,500 feet in Srinagar. And they disposed it. And when they came back, we of course celebrated the success of the exploration. It was a huge success. But in this conversation that we had about the success, we constantly kept coming back to the litter that we saw around the lakes. And it bothered us. It bothered us. And we asked ourselves, is this the future of trekking? Is this how we want it? Because if we didn't do something about it, the future generation of trekking would not be okay. So we decided to take some steps. And we started something which we call the Green Trails Project. The Green Trails Project is nothing but a mission to make trekking more sustainable, because we wanted to leave the future in safer hands. Now, when we wanted to make trekking more sustainable, it came by rejecting one Western idea which is called leave no trace. Many of you would have heard of it. And we rejected it. Because leave no trace meant that you become a good trekker, but then the responsibility ends there. And we didn't want the responsibility to end there. We wanted to do something that left the mountains better. We had to take action. And taking action is always a difficult step. And we started taking some difficult steps in the organization. For example, we asked our trekkers to carry their own backpacks. At that time, trekkers were used to either porters or animals carrying their backpacks. And we asked them to carry their own backpacks because it would reduce the impact on the mountains by having lesser people going on the mountains. We asked the trekkers to help us pick litter off the mountains by tying an eco bag around the waist and picking up litter. We said no bonfires on a trek, and trekkers were very used to bonfire. They wanted the warmth of the fire at the end of the day's trek, not only the warmth, but even to talk and chat. And we said no bonfires, because bonfires use dead wood, which was required by the forest to regenerate itself. We told the trekkers don't get wet wipes. Wet wipes are essential for cleaning your skin, and they said no because they're non-biodegradable. We told the women trekkers to take the soil sanitary pads back to the cities. We had to change all the internal systems also. We reworked that. We reworked our entire kitchen menu so that very quick packaging entered our kitchens. We set up water saving stands. We started composting our waste. We started segregating everything that we got down from the mountains. And we did all of these. And our trekkers, and we asked our own team members to follow sustainable lives themselves. And if they wouldn't, we would say that this is not okay. We used to take very harsh actions if people wouldn't do it. Our trekkers started protesting. They started saying, you're too strict. No one tells us to do this. No hotels, no resorts, no other trekking organization tells us to do what they're asking us to do. But we knew that if we wanted to do trekking in wetlands in the future, we had to take difficult steps. It did not make any business sense. Because business sense always pointed to give service and comfort. And we were asking trekkers for discomfort. But today, green trails have become our identity. Trekkers love our green trails work that we do, and they very happily participate in it. Along with our trekkers, every year, we pick up about 10,000 kilos of litter from the mountains. And along with our NGO partners, we save almost 60% of them going to the landfills. Our work in green trails is so acclaimed that we are invited from across the country to talk in various forums about the green trail works. The state government, central governments of many states of our country invite us to open treks because they know India is able to do it very sustainably. Green trails has become our identity. And what I want to tell you is that this identity has come from the value systems that we follow. This value system that we have within us helps us to make these choices. I want to tell you that these value systems are there, but we are not able to make these choices very easily in our lives. But when we do, it helps us to take these difficult calls. And everywhere we go, we notice this. Now I want to share a story with you, which is a little bit internal. No one knows about this. Around 2018, 10 years had passed and India was growing beautifully. We were having wonderful year-on-year growth. Our trekkers were loving our treks. The number of people working in the organization was growing. We had just shifted to a new office surrounded by greenery. Parakeets would fly around our office. We should have been very happy. But we were not. We were disturbed. What we noticed was that some of our team members were not very happy. They had some resentments about the organization, big and small. Our trek leaders who were doing the treks in the mountains, even though they were doing some fantastic treks, they were disconnected to the rest of the organization. They didn't know what was happening. And we realized that we were working with many dysfunctional teams. And no matter which way we started looking at it, and when we introspected and reflected on this, we realized that many of our team members are not aligned to the vision and values of the organization. And we knew deep down that we had to take some hard calls. And these hard calls were that we may have to leave and ask some of them to go. Even though personally we were very fond of many of them. We carried out a very large integration exercise in the organization. And we asked everyone one straightforward question. Are you on this journey with India Hacks? Do you follow the vision and values of the organization? Do you resonate with it? Do you want to follow it? And do you want to be on this journey? Is it a yes or is it a no? There was no in between. There was no choice. Either it was a yes or it was a no. And many of our team members were actually very happy we asked this question because they deeply resonated with the vision and values of the organization and they wanted to be in that journey. But we also noticed many faltered. And we knew that these are people who we probably should not carry forward with us. And even though we liked some of them, we asked them to leave. And I want to tell you from experience, these are not easy decisions. And they're very difficult exercise because no growing organization wants to let people go. Because the moment you let people go, it hampers growth. It hampers progress, it hampers productivity and profitability. But we took that decision. And a lot of people left. Today when I look back on those decisions, I realize those people who were left behind, who followed the vision and values of the organization, became the core team of the organization. What they did next was extraordinary. Because this core team did not require much supervision. They did not require much anything to be told for them to carry out what they carried out. And the people who were working along with this core team were also similarly aligned with the vision and values of the organization. And this directly impacted our trekkers. When our trekkers went on our trek, they came back with extraordinary and astounding experiences. Something which quite unbelievable. They could not believe that on a trek they were getting such experiences. Many of them would email us and remark that how is it possible that in remote location where there are no mobile signals, there's nothing on our treks, that even the cooks and helpers are aligned with the vision and values of the organization. And this has given us extraordinary results. Today, 30,000 people trek with us annually. We are the largest trekking organization in India. And all of them have come because the people are aligned with the vision and values of the organization. you would wonder that strategy, marketing, operations, finance, product management, these are essential for an organization. But I want to tell you from our experience that over this sits the value systems of the organization. And if the value systems of these organizations are strong, you will find all of these falling in place. And the whole question is, and what I've observed in life is, that we cannot articulate these value systems too well. If today I were to ask you, what are these value systems? Sitting here, you wouldn't be able to tell me. Your own personal value system, you would fumble. But what we have observed is, when we articulate, when we put it down, and then use those value systems to make choices, it gives us tremendous results. So it's what is important is to articulate these value systems that we have. And then use these value systems as the guiding principles to help us make choices. Because then these choices ultimately lead you to become who you become. Thank you very much.